Hey everyone, Jack here, TalkNorwichCity. I hope you're all doing very well indeed. Welcome back to the final match preview of the season. Norwich's final home game, Norwich's final Premier League game of the season. Of course, this campaign ending in relegation, but incredibly still something riding on this game. Not for us, but for our opponents, Tottenham. A top four race still yet to be decided between them and North London rivals Arsenal. Arsenal face Everton. Tottenham travel to us. Tottenham require a point to make it into the top four. If they screw it up from here, then fair bloody play, because we have yet to put up a fight in the majority of games this season. BetMate, I've got one final pot to be decided this season as well. A massive thank you for all of your love with BetMate. A load of you have enjoyed it. It's fantasy football essentially, but with individual games. So you don't have to worry about a season-long team, because I always forget to change out players. You go up against your friends, and we have got a pot once more. The link to download the app and the code to join the league is in the description. There's a £300 pot up for this weekend's game. It features two games, the Arsenal-Everton game and the Tottenham-Norwich game. The two games that will decide the top four. Let's go through my team, once again featuring no Norwich players, because if we want any chance of winning cash, I can't see it featuring any Norwich players. Lloris in goal, I think he'll keep a clean sheet. Two Arsenal defenders, I think they'll keep a clean sheet against Everton. Everton's safe. Arsenal needing goals. Everton just woeful away from home. Gabriel and Tavares. Emil Smith-Rowe next to Højbjerg in the midfield. And then the two Tottenham main men in Harry Kane and Son in my captain and vice-captain. I think there'll be goals against us, hence why I've gone for them. Chris, very similar, hasn't gone for any Norwich players. He's got a few Everton players featuring Lloris in goal, Sanchez and Mikalenko, Iwobi next to Gray, and like myself, Son and Kane up front for him. He's opted to captain Son, I've opted to captain Kane. He's vice-captain Kane. Double points and 1.5 points for the captain and vice-captain. Download the app. It's been great playing along with you this season. I know a lot of you have won some cash. Always gamble responsibly. Really looking forward to seeing you over there. I've been slightly demotivated making these match previews and also match reviews for the past 6 months, because often I've just been repeating comments. We've seen very similar performances in the majority of games. We've seen similar kind of debriefs coming out of them. This game feels slightly different. I think it's going to be fascinating to see how Norwich line up. We've got players in Brandon Williams, in Billy Gilmour, in Matthias Norman, who aren't going to be here next season. Will they feature? I suspect they probably will. Dean Smith seems keen on starting what he believes is his best team. Now, I think that's very much open for discussion. I don't think Billy Gilmour should be featuring in midfield, but he maintains his spot. And just a final word on Billy Gilmour, actually, because I do feel he's been slightly harshly treated. And I think he's built up this reputation from a few Scotland games and a few Chelsea games where people think he's exceptional, and he is, I think, on his day, a very talented footballer, but I don't think he's as good as people make out, and that's not a criticism in any way. He's built up a reputation which now anything below that, he's going to come in for stick. I actually think for the most part of this season, he's been very average. He hasn't been the worst player by a long stretch. I think he needs time out on loan again somewhere else in a team that is possibly not fighting relegation, because he doesn't seem like that type of player to really dig in. And equally, like, he's been surrounded by very average footballers as well who haven't particularly helped him. So it's been a massive ask for him. He hasn't delivered, but equally, we all thought he'd be brilliant when we signed him, so we have to take kind of equal blame for that. Yeah, that's my final word on Gilmour. A very forgettable loan deal after what felt like a really exciting loan deal. Just hasn't worked out for him. Best of luck to him for the rest of his career. I'm going to just delve into Dean Smith's press conference. I think it's clear that Todd Cantwell now isn't wanted by Bournemouth. I think that was probably predictable based off of them just not playing him since January, really, in their promotion push. I must say I thought there would be some form of agreement in there that if Bournemouth got promoted, they would have to sign him. That clearly wasn't the case. So Cantwell will return to Norwich City. Now, whether he's here for next season is another matter. We know how good Todd Cantwell is on his day, and whether you like him or whether you don't like him, we can all agree that on his day he's a very talented footballer. Now, granted, his day occasionally comes few and far between, but if we can get Todd Cantwell's head down, working hard, there's a special Championship football player in there. I really do believe that. Whether he's burnt certain bridges that are now unrepairable will have to be, only time will tell. But it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with Todd Cantwell. As well as that, there were certain rumours, again, surrounding Teemu Pukki's future, where that lies. Dean Smith seems incredibly confident that Teemu Pukki will be at the football club next season. His contract got extended. I also believe Pukki will potentially be here next season. I think he's guaranteed game time. He's guaranteed goals. He's hopefully guaranteed chances. Coming to the latter stages of his career, I think it would be the right move for him to stay at Norwich. Obviously, I'm going to say that. In terms of this game, I think it could potentially get messy if we concede early on. The flip side of that is Tottenham only need a point. If it gets to 70 minutes and for whatever reason a miracle has occurred and we're still in the game, it could potentially get nervy for Spurs. Because then all we need to do is nick a fluky goal. I think they will come out hot at the off, be looking to score a couple early on, and then just sit back on their lead and make it very dull. Again, the opportunity comes there is if they're wide open early doors, we know they're not the best defensive side. There could be opportunity for us, and if there was anything positive to take from that Wolves game last weekend, it was the fact that we got Teemu Pukki in positions that he just hasn't been in this season. He was off the shoulder of the final defender about 5 times in the first half. He took one of those chances. If we can do that against Spurs, there will be goals in this game for Norwich City, but that's a big if. Look, it's been a disastrous campaign on all levels. Off the pitch, almost more worrying than on the pitch. But with all of that being said, whoever I've seen in the street or down the pub or playing golf with or at the football over the last few weeks, the question has always been, Jack, how do you think we'll get on next season? And my answer remains the same. I think we'll be okay. I really do. There will be changes on and off the pitch. There will be players coming in and out. But I am of the belief that the Championship is probably at one of the weakest points it's ever been at. I really do believe that. I don't think there's too much quality in the Championship. Now, that is a sad thing because the gap between the Championship and the Premier League is getting ever bigger, and so is the gap between the top 7 and the rest of the Premier League. You've now almost got a division of 6 or 7 teams that are just fighting for their lives, spending stupid amounts of cash to try and remain in the Premier League. And when they do eventually come down, often they bounce straight back at the first time of asking. I think Norwich will be in and around the playoffs, all the automatics. There's a big summer ahead. I think it's important we keep Dean Smith and Craig Shakespeare. They will have no excuses after this summer if they can assemble a side of their own. I think it's important we gain communication and clarity from those above Dean Smith in Stuart Webber and Delia Smith, Michael Wynne-Jones, Zoe Ward. I think it's really important they communicate their vision with the fans because we haven't seen that this season. And I think it's important that we reset and we go again and we set a 5-year plan, and hopefully we'll be okay next season. Now, the longer term of the football club looks slightly more uncertain. Where's external funding coming from, if it is? And if we do bounce back to the Premier League, how do we make sure that this doesn't happen again? Because it is becoming exhausting. But in terms of the short term, I think we'll be okay. I really do believe that. Maybe that's just my optimism seeping through and kind of blurring the realms of reality. But that's how I'm at the moment, and I'd love to hear how you are feeling. As always, a massive thank you for watching the videos this season. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you all again very soon for another video here on Talk Norwich City. Bye bye.